Promotional images. They're everywhere. White backgrounds, clean lighting, iconic poses, boom, bam, bop, there's your thumbnail, your poster, your album cover. You know the drill. That's how we got so many of those celebrity photo shoots from the 2000s floating on the white voids. But promo shots, they weren't just for people. No, they were for characters, animated, live action, dinosaurs, Barney promotional images. There are a lot of them. So what is the Barney YouTube channel only used for? Be original, you content farm! Anyway, now if I were to ask you, what is the most recognizable Barney promo image? What is the most iconic, or rather, the most infamous? You could give me a few answers and it'd all be pretty good, but there's one image, one still, that has become infamous for how much it's been used across all different eras, for how much it's been used outside of the show, for how polarizingly different it looks from every other image. Yes, this is the story behind Barney's most infamous promo image. Welcome to the Barney Desk. So I'll be real with you guys here. I've always been weirdly obsessed with renders and promotional images. Like, I used to nerd out hard over Mario ones especially. I'd stare at posters and game covers trying to figure out if a render came from the N64 era, the GameCube, the Wii. That was my sport. So yeah, I care about this stuff way more than I probably should. So, moving on to the barnyard. Now, in the Backyard Gang early days, you didn't really have those classic white background promo shots we're talking about today. There were some promo images, sure, but they were usually just staged like scenes from the videos, slapped on the box or back cover. But there is one image from that era that actually does feel like a proper promotional photo. It comes from the era of the later Backyard Gang tapes, and it features the 1990 Barney suit. You know, back when he still had the angular face. It even had this mugshot companion image that was used for the tape covers. Same lighting, same shoot, same session. This was their one shot, their one opportunity to seize everything they ever wanted. Now it's 1992. The Backyard Gang gets upgraded into a full-blown TV show, Barney and Friends. And now that we got that sweet PBS budget, you already know that it's promo image time. The new Barney suit had just debuted a year earlier and immediately became a photographer's best friend. In-studio shoots, absolutely. On-location shoots, everywhere. On location, is that the freaking Hollywood sign? My man was getting snapped from every angle. Throughout the 90s, Lyric Studios cranked out so much Barney content that promo images basically became a production line. And to keep up, they actually used special suits just for these photos. They weren't the same ones from the show, they were built just for posing. According to art director Joseph Hernandez, some even had adjustable eyelids, just so Barney could strike the perfect expression. And honestly, this right here, this is peak Barney. He looks so good. This is my favorite Barney that has ever been. Now, you might have noticed that I haven't talked about any illustrations or drawn promotional images yet, and yeah, those are technically promotional images too, but that's not what we're focusing on here. We're just talking about the photo shoots. However, if you do want a full breakdown of Barney's 2D art style and how that evolves, I actually made a whole video essay on that, so feel free to check it out by clicking in the top right. Great. Photo shoots kept happening way into the 2000s. Riff got one when he joined, same when season 13 rolled out those slight costume tweaks. But the weird thing is, most of the hit era promo images didn't even use the actual suits from the show, at least for Barney. Even the newer shoots, like Riff's, still dragged out an older promo suit from the late 90s instead of using the current on-screen version. And honestly, it makes you wonder if even the marketing team knew the newer suits were kind of subpar. After the show ended in 2010, all we had left was the YouTube channel. Once 9 Story took over, they shifted from uploading episodes and songs to pumping out 8-hour compilation videos, with every thumbnail each using the same 5 promo PNGs slapped onto bright vector backgrounds with random clip art. It got memed fast in the community due to how lazy and repetitive it was. Every thumbnail looked like baby's first PSD. And that's basically where the promo era ends. Classic Barney's mostly faded from the spotlight, and while there's technically a relaunch going on, it depends who you ask on how well that's going. Those old images, they're just relics of the golden years. I've been the Barney Desk, and so yeah, there's another side to this story, and that's where we hit the real meat of this video. The most infamous Barney images, and then the most infamous. To figure this out, I polled a few of my Dine Bros, get it, on which promo image they thought was the most overused. Most of the answers point to the late Lions and early Lyric era, with several contenders all featuring the 1994 Barney suit. Clearly they love this guy because he got around. Some picks came from the late 90s and early 2000s, and a few were oddly specific, like the season 5 to 6 suit. But I'd argue that this right here is the second most recognizable Barney image. You've seen it. It's one of the first Google results. It's plastered across YouTube thumbnails, news articles, and nearly every piece of merch after the show's midway point. Even now, it's still used in places like the Philippines for its local Barney products. Honestly, those might deserve their own video someday. But anyway, it's also the go-to image for Mattel's current Barney branding. For the longest time, I just had no clue what suit this was. It didn't help that promo suits were often cleaned up in editing, with the tail removed, ankles smoothed out, and the limbs sort of reshaped. But then I saw this one Lyric era photo shoot. The Barney head in these pictures is super specific. Rounder face, smaller eyes, chunkier design, and then suddenly it clicked. That's it. This is a Lyric suit. And now it's so obvious, but for the longest time, I just couldn't figure it out. Huzzah! Victory is mine! Well, almost. Because now we have to talk about that image. The image. The creature. You've seen it. I know you've seen it. It shows up on video covers, magazines, posters, promo materials, literally everywhere. And I'm not alone in saying this, but who the fuck is this guy? Because I swear to Riff, that ain't Barney. He just doesn't look right. The more you stare at it, the worse it gets. He's got no tail, the ankles were erased, one arm is weirdly like clumpy looking, the pose is like he's half presenting something that doesn't exist, and his face is weirdly flat looking. Every time I see this image, I feel like I need an adult. For the longest time, I tried to figure out what suit this even was. The earliest use I could find was the third re-release of Barney Goes to School in 1996. So that already rules out hit era suits, and it can't be a late Lyric suit either. It came before all of those. I tried every possibility. At one point, I was gaslighting myself into thinking it was the season 1 suit. But eventually, everything pointed to one conclusion. This is either the season 3 suit or the 1994 suit. And I still don't know which one. And that's insane, because it looks nothing like it. Like, I still kind of refuse to believe it, but apparently, that's what it is. And that's where this image took on a second life. It didn't just stop at official use, it found a home in the weird corners of the internet. But not in the Barney fan community. Oh no, I'm talking about something else entirely. See, there's this very weird subgenre of internet art called Barney errors. If you made a Venn diagram between Barney bashing and EXE creepypastas, this would be like right in the middle. The concept was that your computer got infected by some Barney-themed virus and would give you a series of chances or warnings. If you disobeyed, like shutting down the computer or breaking the rules, you'd get jump scared or hacked. The reason I bring this up is because every single one of them, every single one, used this specific Barney image. It would be him talking to you through a text-to-speech voice, and when he'd get angry, they'd just start like editing the image in all these truly bewildering ways. I think the concept of these videos is actually rather interesting, but they were made so horribly, like genuinely by teenagers who just barely knew how to use MS Paint. And eventually, this turned into its own mini community of people making endless edits of this one specific Barney image. And I always wondered, like, why never experiment? Why this image specifically? Why does the head keep getting smaller? I don't get it. The internet is weird, man. But hey, now you know that's the most infamous Barney image. Fun fact, this whole video started as a challenge I gave myself to see if I could make a video that was under 8 minutes. I tend to overwrite, even when I try not to. So if I somehow pulled this off, comment Baby Boppers in the comments. If I didn't pull it off and it's over 8 minutes, comment Riff Nation. And hey, if you like this, you'll probably enjoy the other videos where I reevaluate Barney through a modern lens. I've been the Barney Desk, and thanks for watching.